On how El Nino could have an impact on our winter weather.
And one company gave back to a local school in an effort to keep kids warm this winter.
Plus, our exciting visit to the National Weather Service's annual open house.
WBRC Fox 6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
And welcome into Weather Extra. Thanks for staying with us. Joined by meteorologist Lauren Linehan, Tania Michelle.
Yeah, we are so glad to have you here this evening. And we've got a lot to talk about weather-wise, even looking ahead, Wes and Tania, to the winter.
Yeah, Wes, what are we talking about?
Well, we got the coat. You know, we're talking about coats. We're talking about cold weather, but I can promise you it's still warm out there right now.
Especially this weekend.
Yeah, especially this weekend. Let's talk about the next big thing. And right now we're tracking a front that's on the way, and it's bringing a chance for showers. And I know yesterday we were looking at some model data that suggested we might see some wet weather. The rain chances are very, very scattered. You can see the rain, in fact, is just struggling to hold together here on radar, but this is it. We did actually get some rain earlier today from that first wave. The models did a good job picking up on that moved through the area. We picked up, Jerry Peak reported 0.04 of an inch of rain, our weather watcher over in Anniston. So some areas we did get some rain, but this is all we have on radar at the moment. The dry air is just basically gobbling all the moisture up. You can see around Chapel Hill, Argo, a little bit of shower activity around Sipsey, and then moving into Pickens County, there's a nice little downpour. So Pickensville and Aliceville giving you the first alert for maybe some rain there as that tracks on to the east. But it's going to be these scattered showers for tonight. You can see Jasper. We had that one shower that passed over already, starting to see some breaks in the clouds there back off to the west direction. But it was sunny earlier, but more of these scattered showers moving in. There's still a front that's going to make its way through the area later on tonight. So until that happens, the chance for showers will be there. Live look from Avadian Credit Union, our first alert sky vision in Lamar County. That's at Vernon. I was looking at that camera earlier on the news, and we were seeing some rain that was falling in parts of Lamar County. But even though right now there's not a lot on radar, that's still, until the front moves through, we could get some additional showers popping up. That window of opportunity is there for us through midnight tonight and into the early morning. Now, by tomorrow sunrise, this is all going to be exiting, and then we'll have clearing sky. It is going to turn out a bit windy by tomorrow afternoon. Windy conditions, we'll see those winds gusting over 15 miles per hour. And you can see that weekend sunshine will come back. In fact, warm afternoons. We're going to see quite a warm up as we look ahead over the next several days. And it's that time of week again. I know I was talking about the weekend, and we're going to get into some college football forecasts, but we're gearing up for some Sideline. And the game of the week is Moody versus Leeds High School. So here's your game night forecast.
Hey y'all, my name is Scout Thomas and I'm a junior here at Leeds High School and a part of our LHS student section, The Deep End. We are here at Homer Smile Stadium where we will take on our crosstown rivals, the Moody Blue Devils, in our annual Battle of the Bridge. At kickoff, the temperature will hang at around 64 degrees and cool off to about the upper 50s by game's end. We have a 0% chance of rain for tonight, but a 100% chance for some good football. Roll Green Wave!
Oh, great job, Scout. We like that forecast. Thank you so much for helping us out with the Sideline forecast. Of course, tomorrow night, big night of high school football, and we will be ready right here with Sideline. So stay tuned also for next week's Sideline forecast.
Oh yeah, so much fun, so much going on for our Friday. But today, FedEx and a nonprofit organization teamed up to surprise some Jefferson County students in the best way. Take a look at this. FedEx Cares and Operation Warm provided more than 400 winter coats to students at Minor Elementary. All the coats were brand new. FedEx volunteers began handing out coats at 9 a.m. and it lasted throughout the afternoon. Principal Birdmore says the looks on the kids' faces were priceless.
They are very appreciative. They are so excited. When they came in the gym, they were telling me, we're getting a new coat, we're getting a new coat. And it's a blessing just to see the smiles on their faces.
Oh, FedEx Cares, and they definitely do, is a branch of the company's Drive Forward and Give Back campaign. And they have been teaming up with Operation Warm for more than 15 years. Lauren.
Oh, Tania, we love to hear that. Well, new analysis by the Energy Information Administration estimates natural gas and electric powered heat usage could dip for most Americans. The EIA says natural gas and electricity are set to decline after a large increase last year. So this winter, the cost of heating a home with natural gas could drop by an average of 21%, saving the average household about $160. Ooh, that sounds good. Over the course of the winter, the cost of heating with electricity should also dip by an average of 1% nationally. This decline is offset by a forecast increase in the share of renewable generation from 22% this year to 25% in 2024. Well, we've been talking about it tonight on Fox 6. NOAA is predicting a strong El Nino could have a big impact on weather patterns across the U.S. this winter. Here in the South, we could see above average precipitation with the possibility of a more active, wetter weather pattern. You see that oftentimes in the deep South during El Nino months. Now, drier conditions look more likely across parts of the northern U.S., including the northern Rockies, High Plains, and upper Midwest. But could it be cold enough to snow in our neck of the woods if we're going to have plenty of moisture in the air? Well, right now, our temperature trends could go either way, but areas to the north could see a warmer than normal winter. And down in Texas, the Electric Reliability Council worries that a cold snap could lead to an energy emergency again. Matt Houston has more on this development.
In the winter, electricity demand is highest around 8 a.m. when Texans wake up and turn on the heater. The sun is still rising then, so solar panels can't rescue the power grid like they did so many times this summer.
We have a potential problem this winter because the market has not provided the level of dispatchable resources that that Texas needs.
If nothing changes, ERCOT estimates there's a 20% chance a cold blast like December's winter storm Elliott causes an electricity emergency.
There's been around 4 or so storms in the last 14 years or so that have been either similar or worse than a winter storm Elliott. So it's not something that's highly improbable to occur.
So ERCOT wants to improve its odds by taking a rare step. They formally asked generators to consider restarting power plants that are retired, including some polluters that have been offline for years.
Some of those won't be able to come back, and so we recognize that.
So they've also asked for new ideas that could reduce demand. That means more Texans will likely be paid to cut electricity usage this winter. ERCOT will sign off on these proposals in November. Fortunately, board members say this will be the first cold season since power plants have weatherized their equipment for specific low temperatures.
ERCOT manages electric services for 90% of the state of Texas.
A new study says hurricanes will become more intense as global temperatures begin to rise. Researchers say Atlantic hurricanes are now more than twice as likely to rapidly intensify from minor hurricanes into potentially catastrophic ones. 2023 alone has been a record-setting year for anomalously warm ocean temperatures, which serves as a fuel for tropical systems. And check this out. NASA has discovered a new feature of Jupiter's atmosphere. A new image from the James Webb Telescope reveals a narrow jet stream traveling at 320 miles per hour. That's twice the strength of a Category 5 hurricane. It spans more than 3,000 miles and is located 25 miles above Jupiter's cloud deck. Well, right here on First Alert Weather Extra, we'll be right back in 30 seconds.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. We all know spooky season, my favorite time of the year, is in full effect. And hey, not just humans, but fish are feeling it too. Our Mike Dubberly spoke with Tom Benson of the Tennessee Aquarium on Good Day, Alabama about an electrifying sight.
Well, it is spooky season. There are, shall we say, unique but cool things happening at the Tennessee Aquarium, but from underwater pumpkin carving, eels lighting up the jack-o'-lanterns, and more. Tom Benson joins us now from the Tennessee Aquarium with more on the Oddtober and the Aquarium Halloween party. Good to see you this morning, Tom.
Hey, Mike, thanks for the invitation to join you today.
Yeah, for folks who have not been to the Tennessee Aquarium, it's amazing in itself, but this is very unique. Preview what we can expect.
Well, we've got a lot happening throughout the month of October. Our educators bring curiosity carts out to the floor with animal ambassadors to help highlight some of the weird and wonderful ways that animals deal with nature. It could be camouflage. We're sort of focusing on the costumes that animals wear. So for the giant Pacific octopus, it's that skin that can change color and texture to blend in. Our Vietnamese mossy frogs also have camouflage that make them look like bumps on the log. And there's all kinds of different animals that have these wonderfully weird adaptations that help them survive in the natural world, including Miguel Watson, our electric eel. And he's got a neat trick, Mike.
Okay.
We're going to feed Miguel in just a second. He's kind of cruising through the tank here. And we have two probes in the water that help pick up the electrical charges that he makes as he goes about his business in daily life. So when he's being fed right now, he discharges quite a bit, and you'll see these pumpkins on the ceiling flickering and flashing with the charges that he releases. When he's in a relaxed state, he doesn't cause much electricity to be discharged, but when he's excited like he is right now, you can see these pumpkins starting to flash and flicker with the amount of electricity that he discharges into the water.
Well, that's got to be a cool
It's an amazing thing.
Yeah, that is.
When you think about sustainable electricity and windmills and water power and solar power, this is an animal that uses the cells in its body like little batteries, and they're all lined up to create this charge. The bigger the eel, the bigger the charge. So some eels can get to be 6 feet in length and have a charge of more than 800 volts.
Wow.
It's a powerful punch, and you wouldn't want to grab hold of them. But one of the great questions we get is, how come the fish in the exhibit with Miguel don't get shocked? And it's because, and Mickey will love this, all of your meteorologists there, the fact that it's not a lightning bolt that he's discharging, it's sort of a cloud of electricity that hugs his body. So when he's hunting, he's getting real close to those other fish and he can shock them. But when he's in the wild, he uses it as a navigational tool because they live in kind of murky water, and they also use it to kind of communicate with one another. It's a pretty cool special adaptation that they have, and it fits in with that theme of Oddtober, celebrating the wonderfully weird side of nature.
That's incredible. And for our next trick, we're going to make Tania say Aquarium 5 times fast. Oh. Yeah, she's not going to do that. No. Back on land, we're going to talk more about the beautiful weekend ahead and how you can best take in the fall foliage.
Well, time for another radar check here on First Alert Weather Extra, and we're watching for scattered showers at the moment. This isn't rain, but these little spots you see back to the north and west, those are showers, and there's still a chance that we could see some additional development. Notice these arrows. You see how they're pointing to the north? That's the wind direction. So it's south to north right now. And you can still see back into Mississippi, there's a south wind. So the front hasn't necessarily made it close to Alabama yet. And until it gets here, we could still see some additional showers developing through this evening. So even though there's not a lot on radar right now, still hope that we could see some additional development. Here's some of the new data coming in. And you can see by 9 o'clock it's showing still we can see a little bit more scattered development happening here in areas back to the northwest, and then all this starts to slide on through. There's midnight. This is still showing maybe Gadsden and hopefully St. Clair County and parts of Blount County, and after midnight you can see this starts to push in towards, this shows Cherokee County. Look out, maybe a little bit of rain there around 1 a.m. around Center and Gadsden, Anniston, but once we sunrise happens, once we wake up in the morning, this is going to be moving out of the state. The sky clears, and the rest of the day we're going to be talking about sunshine with the afternoon high temperatures back into the 70s. But it is going to be a breezy day tomorrow. That wind is going to pick up out of the northwest at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. The core of the cold air is going to stay to the north, but most of the what we call upper level support with this system is staying well north of our area. That's one of the reasons why we're not seeing quite as much rainfall or major storm activity out of this. But as that energy lifts on out, you can see we're primarily under a northwest flow aloft as we go into the weekend and into next week, and very dry conditions will set up across our area from Saturday, Sunday, and into the start of next week. Tropical Storm Tammy out in the Atlantic is expected to grow into a Category 1 hurricane now. This is the only system that we're watching right now, and it's been an active season. I mean, we've made it all the way up to Tammy, but it's going to stay out over the Atlantic. Kickoff forecast, a hot afternoon in Tuscaloosa, 81 at kickoff time, 69 kickoff for UAB. Of course, that Memphis UAB game, a little bit warmer during the afternoon. 70 degrees at kickoff time, Ole Miss at Auburn. And for the Miles College game, of course, temperatures also there in the afternoon, rising into the upper 70s there in the Birmingham area. So plan for some hot weather for the afternoon Saturday, dry Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And speaking of hot, we're now seeing severe drought conditions. We've got the updated drought monitor. So with the severe dryness that we have in place, it won't take long for those temperatures in the afternoon to rise into the low 80s. So we're going above average as we look at the long-range forecast. But how about those rain chances? Well, let's turn our attention to beyond the 7-day forecast as we go to meteorologist Lauren Linehan. And Lauren, I see that big map behind you there, and it's showing not only for us, but a good part of the southeast with those above average temperatures.
Yeah, Wes, this is suggesting the latest outlook from the Climate Prediction Center that we could be seeing above average temperatures as we get into the latter half of October. So yeah, Birmingham smack dab in the middle of that bullseye for above average temperatures. So let's look. Going into next week, we mentioned a warmer pattern taking over, maybe even the possibility of seeing temperatures getting close to 80 degrees next week before maybe seeing an eventual cool down as we're wrapping up October and getting into November. And yeah, so warm next week, but we are maybe seeing some signs with some of the latest model data coming in. Hey, maybe we could see a cool down going into October. Still remains to be seen. Remember, as always with beyond the 7-day, this data can and will change because a forecast 5 to 7 days out, far from that, it's not going to be quite as accurate. But we just like to give you a general idea of the patterns, and we see here in Alabama, we could be leaning towards maybe an above average temperature pattern or above average precipitation pattern for late October into early November. So we see a ridge of high pressure towards the end of next week. This is October 27th, but then maybe seeing a little weakness in that ridge that could bring us the possibility of some showers for the last weekend of October, making the weather a little bit more unsettled as we head towards Halloween. Of course, the big question on everyone's minds, could there be showers on Halloween? Not out of the question. This particular model run isn't showing it, but I think if we're going to be seeing a more unsettled pattern in place, that could be a possibility. And then maybe showing a ridge developing over the Gulf of Mexico, the Gulf Coast as we get into early November, and possibly seeing a more active pattern in place. But as we look at that first alert calendar here, looking beyond the 7-day, Wes has gone in and highlighted a couple days in red here. that could maybe have some impactful weather in the way of rain chances. So we see Friday, October 27th, and then leading up to Halloween that week as we transition from late October into the first couple of days of November, maybe a more unsettled pattern in the forecast. But hey, going to be dry this weekend, and you may be tempted to go on a hike with the fall foliage soon reaching its peak, but some of us can get intimidated by hitting the trails or just exercising in general. I spoke with Kelly Goodwin, who runs the Birmingham chapter of the Body Liberation Hiking Club, to tell us more about this new group that prides itself on making the great outdoors inclusive. Can you tell us more about what the Body Liberation Outdoor Club is?
So we are a body positive, radically inclusive outdoor club. We do mostly hiking in the Birmingham or Central Alabama area. We have a few rules that we kind of go by, our guidelines. We never have a hike any longer than 4 miles. Everything is considered easy or moderate. And the biggest thing that we do is we do not allow any conversation about weight loss or diet culture. We get out, we enjoy the outside, we look at the plants, and we talk with our friends what's going on. We may have a 2-mile hike, and it may take us a little longer than it does another group. We want to see where we are. We live in such a great state. I mean, the beauty just can't be matched, honestly. And so it's wonderful to get to see everything around us and take the time to do that.
Can you talk to me about kind of the power of nature and how that can heal and maybe instill people with more confidence?
Absolutely. You know, I mean, sometimes when you decide to go meet up with a group of people who you don't know yet, and because you're looking for a group of people who are like-minded and want to do the same things, it can be really overwhelming and intimidating. It's fun because we have such a diverse group of people who come. So we all have a little bit of knowledge in something. So we can sit and we're walking through and we're like, hey, look at that really cool root system. And then there will be another person who's like, well, let me tell you why these roots grow this way. And so you have made a new friend or a new connection with a person who thought this thing was really, really cool. And so it's been nice to see like the bonds and the relationships that have happened through this group over just the love and rejuvenation that nature can offer.
Well, if you're interested in joining this club, their next hike is at Buck Creek Park in Alabaster this Saturday.
And speaking of joining, you should definitely join us next year at the National Weather Service Open House, because Lauren and I had a blast. It was this past weekend where Lauren and I had the pleasure of visiting the Birmingham National Weather Service office's annual open house. Oh, it was so much fun. There's Owlie the owl. And I mean, listen, look at how happy he looks. Everyone was happy, right, Lauren?
Oh, yeah.
People had their eclipse glasses. We were checking out the sky. We had just the right amount of sunshine to be able to catch that in between those cloud breaks. Face painting. Yep, had my sun and clouds right there. Cute. Lauren, did you get your face painted?
I did, but I got a storm.
You sure did.
You know,
See, I had the sunshine. That's okay. It worked. Then we got to finish off the event with the weather balloon launch. So many photos, so many smiles. It was so great to see all of you guys there. And like I said, we're hoping to catch you next year at the National Weather Service Open House. But thank you to our friends at the National Weather Service for inviting the First Alert Weather team out to the awesome event.
All right, well, stay tuned for the address from the president. That's coming up next. Of course, we'll have more on the forecast, radar updates, and the 7-day forecast. That's all tonight. We'll see you back here first at 9.